But tying in what we're talking about, irregularities and all kinds of shady things that are happening in different agencies. We have a new documentary out, and it highlights ECG meter theft. Now, guess what? Staff of ECG, some even within the security services, then you have outsiders, even security people, are in on this. And they are charging for meters over and above what is required. And meters that are even meant for some people are being given to other people. In fact, in some instances, they arrange in such a way that payments are made and then they fix these meters. And the people end up not even paying for electricity at all. That is the latest. It appears the rot, its tentacles have reached every last facet of our national fabric. Have you watched a bit of?
Yeah, I've just seen the excerpts of it, but
Power Thieves.
Yeah, Power Thieves. I've seen the excerpts also on your screen, but it's an issue that as an individual, I'm even putting up an article on it.
You're putting up an article on
that. See, let's first start. Look, if you go on your meter and you read your meter, what do you see? You normally see that they say this is the property of.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's the government of Ghana or the ECG. They put it there.
Yeah.
It's on there.
I think it's ECG.
ECG. There's a reason for it. Essentially, the meter is not even for the customer. So, essentially, it's supposed to even be free. What the ECG or, for example, Netco, because these are the two, distribution companies. What essentially they do is that what they charge you is what they call the service charge. They have to come and put up all these things, connect you, and that's what they charge you for. But technically, the meter itself is supposed to be free because that is not your property.
Right.
That's the first point. Two, the issue of meters basically, you and I know, is just because that is how ECG will know how much power it has given out and be able to recover revenue. The challenges that we have, if you go back and look at the total losses of ECG, you know, ECG normally will break its, losses into what they call the technical losses and the commercial losses. So the issue of meters and other things will fall under the commercial losses. Ben, I think that sometimes ECG itself is not serious with itself.
How so?
How on earth, and that's the first part before I come to the fake ones, how on earth do you produce, you know that there are a lot of communities that need power. There are a lot of people who may have put up structures and other things in various areas. They need power. They make an application to ECG. And the response from ECG is that they do not have meters. Now, it gives the person an incentive to say that, look, since you do not have meters, then, and I still will have to carry out my business or maybe have electricity at home or what have you. And therefore, the person is then forced to go and, illegally tap into the grid. Or the person then comes, and because you then have a situation where people then have some of these fake meters around selling, they say, oh, then I have a meter here that I can get. Pick up that meter to go and put there. Per the Ministry of Energy's own document that they authored, they call it I've forgotten the title, but it has to do with the indebtedness of our energy sector. Says that.
So what has to do with the IPPs and all of that?
Yes, no, basically, but it is just total indebtedness in the area. The document says that on annual basis, and I want you to quote, on annual basis, ECG loses about $180 million as a result of power that they cannot account for, and particularly on the commercial side.
I think recently Samuel Dubik Mahama was on Joy 99.7 FM, and he alluded to the over 1 billion Ghana cedis.
So you have a situation where ECG is not able to account for this. So what then happens? ECG is not therefore able to pay the producers. So the producer, let's say I'm an independent power producer, I give you power for 100 Ghana cedis. And out of the 100 Ghana cedis, currently if you look at the total losses of ECG, it's about 34%. So it means that if I give you a total of about 100 Ghana cedis, ab initio, you cannot account for 34 Ghana cedis. So already from day one, you are already making a loss.
You're running losses.
So then you cannot pay all the other functional zones upstream, whether it is GridCo for their transmission cost, or what they call it, the generators, whether it's an IPP or VRA. You cannot pay for that. And that is why that particular sector, and I'm using just the power subsector, is struggling over debt. Now, PURC will tell you that they have what they call a benchmark. So what they do is that they say, PURC says that for this year, in terms of our tariff review, your benchmark losses should be, and currently what PURC says that is 21%. So it means that if they say that your allowable losses should be around 21%, what it technically means is that you and I pay for 21% of the losses. If they do up to 21% losses, we will pay for it through our tariff. So anything beyond 21% becomes a liability on the what they call it on ECG.
Right.
So if you have a situation where
that would leave them with some 13% to account for.
To account for. So what then that means is that if you have situations like this going on, then to a very large extent, this is a company that will be in the
on the back of all of these, we must also not lose sight of the fact that Samuel Dubik Mahama has brought to bear some very interesting, innovative policies that seem to have brought ECG back on a certain footing. A lot of the time when you have interactions with them, they will tell you about many new developments. You cannot even overlook the fact that they've embarked on this drive to mop up funds to ensure that those who owe actually pay and are up to date, as far as even the finance ministry at a point in time got into the net. So some good things have happened. Look, but hold on. Let me make my point. A lot of good things have happened. But from where you sit, moving the conversation forward so we can move from energy, what more ought to be done? I mean, recently, I was bashing them a lot because I couldn't even buy, and not just me, so many people, on the Camstrap meters. Couldn't purchase electricity. So you were forced to sleep in darkness for your things to go bad, when in fact, you had even paid money to them. That is on the other side. What are the positives, and what else would you expect from the ECG in respect of their own officials engaging in such, malpractices?
So first and foremost, let me state that the innovative or what have you, the way you, I'm just using your, we can only find that if ECG is able to meet its bills. That's the first thing. Everything that you do must result in that. Do you know that one of the challenges that we had recently with the IPPs, until they were bullied to keep quiet, the challenges that we had was because the ECG, the partners, that I'm talking about, the generators, did not have access to the monies that were being collected by ECG. Because currently, there's what we call the cash waterfall mechanism, where all the monies that are taken by ECG is put in a common pot, and they are proportionally given out to the various places. In this particular arrangement, for about 4 months, 5 months, the cash waterfall mechanism is not operational. How do I get to know? Because nobody knows what are the revenue levels that they are getting. Per the last, the last report that was sent to the committee, indeed, the losses have moved from 30 point something to 34. So you cannot tell me that somebody is introducing innovative measures, and at the same time, I see in the books that the company is getting worse and worse.
So are you saying that nothing positive is happening at the ECG?
No, I would want to see. It is not the PR. It's not the fact that, look, you remember I used to work there. You will come, if I come to sit here to speak on behalf of ECG.
I'm only asking you to clarify. Are you saying that nothing positive is happening at the ECG?
For me, I am not a worker there, but for me, what I look for, as even somebody who serves in a committee that superintends over the activities, is that if you are putting up all these things, I should see that in the company's growth. I should see that in terms of your finances. I should see that.
Look, their finances have gotten better. Their finances have got better.
Look, go back.
Have their finances got better or not?
No. Most of
their finances have indeed got better. They are getting more. They are collecting more from people who ordinarily would have been, using power without paying for that. I mean, that is something definitely.
You know something. There are the two things. If you bring me your financials, your receivables and what you actually have are all put as part of your positives, and I look at it in terms of your profit and loss accounts. You understand? So the fact that they have been able to retrieve those still will be incorporated in the figures I'm seeing.
Right.
And so I am telling you that even looking at their receipt, assuming that they have not even been able to receive or they have received them, it will reflect on their performance. And I'm telling you that if you look in terms of just their what do you call it, technical and commercial losses, they are increasing. The figures are increasing.
Are you not happy about the fact that based on the recoverables or what they are, the sums of money, the receivables, the sums of money they are actually getting from places where they would have actually been losing rather than getting money, it's also aiding in settling the debts of the IPPs. Are you not happy about that?
Are you aware? Look, are you aware that as we speak now, you see, the IPPs do not even, and that's the challenge that all of us have. I talked to the chamber of.
You spoke about the cash waterfall.
No, not that. The fact that even how much is received, nobody knows.
Yes, I have heard talk of that as well.
You see, nobody knows how much is there, and I'm saying.
And I've heard of even disparities in what one gets versus another.
The question I am making is that, for me, in all these things, I should see some progress in terms of the financial health of ECG. Because it impacts on other functional zones within the power subsector.
The change.
I am not seeing that. And I'm saying that I'm just hoping and praying that in all these measures that he's putting, maybe there's an incubation period to see the results. There's an incubation period. So I'm assuming that maybe all the things that he has come to tell you that they do, there's a gestation period for it. And that we will see the results. But as at the last time they came, their losses had become worse. It had moved from 30 point something to about 34%. And I'm telling you that is simply not a mark of a company that is being managed effectively. That's my
finally, I mean, I brought this up. You've still not addressed it. The last time I interacted with the MD of the ECG, he made mention of the fact that to cut out some of these guru boyism and all those things going on, they are automating more and more. And that I think even he made mention of the fact that I think 80+% of the problems that were found in that latest documentary no longer exist. Is that a good thing? Cutting out more and more of the human interface.
Yes.
That's what he said.
Look, as much as possible, if they can cut off the human interface, that would be very good.
Right.
2, I want to know when this documentary was shot. You understand? Then you will, because obviously
we didn't air it immediately. These investigative documentaries.
No, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying, that I do not know when this documentary was done. So he's saying that all these things exist.
So this goes as far back as, anything between March to May, thereabouts.
So
different places.
Different places. So the question is that, so between March, May. So his argument is that between that time period, May, and now things have changed. I don't have evidence of that. I can only take him for his word. But I'm just saying that hopefully we should see those figures. And Ben, I will personally share those figures with you when they come again, because they will be coming before the end of the year.
I look forward to that.
Yes, I'll share.